Chapter 1. The First Revelation. The centuries-old church stood like a silent sentinel in the heart of the mist-cloaked European town, its Gothic spires piercing the twilight sky. Inside, the air smelled of aged wood, incense, and the faint metallic tang of candle wax. The stained glass windows, depicting saints in eternal repose, cast fractured rainbows across the stone floors, colors that seemed to tremble whenever Sister Maria passed beneath them. Maria had always been a creature of quiet devotion. Her hands, calloused from years of tending the convent's herb garden, moved with a grace that soothed the sick and the sorrowful. But lately, even the rosemary and lavender she crushed for tinctures couldn't mask the acrid bile rising in her throat. She'd wake at dawn, clutching her stomach, her forehead slick with cold sweat. The other nuns attributed her pallor to fasting or fatigue, until the day she collapsed during Vespers. Dr. Helena, the church's physician, was a pragmatic woman with silver-streaked hair and eyes that missed nothing. Her clinic, tucked behind the sacristy, was a sanctuary of its own, lined with jars of dried herbs, yellowed medical texts, and a single crucifix that seemed to watch over her work. When Maria's pregnancy was confirmed, Helena's hands shook as she set down her stethoscope. 3 months, she whispered, as if the walls themselves might repeat her words. The news tore through the convent like a wildfire. Whispers slithered through the cloisters. Who could have done this? Was it a traveler? A priest? The older nuns crossed themselves, their lips moving in silent prayers for Maria's damned soul. Sister Agnes, the convent's eldest, clutched her rosary so tightly the beads left indentations in her flesh. "This hasn't happened since the winter of 1882, she murmured, her voice like dry parchment. Chapter 2. The pattern emerges. Then, like a curse unfolding, novice Tuesday was next. She'd been Maria's closest friend, the two often seen whispering over their embroidery in the dim light of the scriptorium. When Tuesday fainted during Mass, Dr. Helena's examination revealed the same impossible truth. By the time Tan and Lon, quiet, wide-eyed girls who'd entered the convent as orphans, showed identical symptoms, the panic was palpable. The 4 pregnant nuns began to dream the same dream, a faceless figure in a hooded robe, beckoning them toward the church's undercroft. In their shared visions, the air smelled of damp earth and myrrh. They woke, gasping, their sheets tangled, their throats raw as if they'd been screaming. Sister Catherine, the convent's iron-willed matron, convened a secret meeting in the chapter house. The room, usually fragrant with beeswax and piety, now reeked of fear. "This is no coincidence," she said, her voice low. "There's a heresy here, or worse." Her gaze flicked to the crucifix above the door, its carved Christ seeming to twist in agony. Chapter 3. The Hidden Door. The discovery of the trapdoor beneath the altar was accidental. Sister Beatrice, while polishing the marble, noticed a hairline crack in the stone. When she pressed it, the ground groaned like a wounded beast. The stairs, descending into darkness, were narrow, the walls lined with strange carvings, symbols that matched the tattoos on the wrists of the town's midwives, symbols the church had banned centuries ago. Below, the chamber was a reliquary of secrets. Dusty ledgers detailed miraculous pregnancies dating back to the Black Death. A vial of amber liquid labeled Sanctus Fons glowed faintly in the candlelight. But most damning was the ledger's last entry, a list of names: Maria, Tuesday, Tan, Lon. Chapter 4. The Ritual. The nuns' surveillance footage revealed the truth. The 4 novices weren't sneaking out to meet lovers. They were sleepwalking, drawn like moths to the hidden chamber. There, hooded figures, townsfolk, some of them parents of the very orphans the convent had taken in, guided them through a ritual older than the church itself. Chalices of bitter wine, chants in a tongue, dead for millennia, and the laying on of hands over their swollen bellies. Dr. Helena, watching the footage, went pale. "It's the Benedictio Matris," she breathed. "A pagan rite for women cursed with barrenness. They believe the convent's walls amplify the prayer's power." Chapter 5. The Reconciliation. Confronted, the townsfolk didn't deny it. Their leader, an elderly woman named Livia, stepped forward. her gnarled hands steady. "We meant no harm," she said. "The land was barren. Our daughters' wombs were dust. The old book spoke of this place, where the veil between worlds is thin. We only asked the saints for intercession." Sister Catherine, torn between wrath and wonder, looked at Maria. The young nun cradled her belly, her eyes clear for the first time in months. "I feel no sin," Maria whispered, "only life." In the end, the convent chose secrecy. The pregnancies were attributed to divine intervention, a modern-day visitation. The children, when born, were quietly adopted by the very families who'd prayed for them. The trapdoor was sealed, but the ledger remained, a testament to the blurred line between heresy and miracle. Years later, the town's fertility rates mysteriously improved. In the convent garden, where Maria once grew lavender, 4 saplings now thrived. Olive trees, their roots tangled deep beneath the stone.